Simply put, a makerspace is, the Westside Makerspace is a creative and collaborative space for the local community members to come and explore their passions, learn new hands-on skills and trades, as well as have access to a shared suite of equipment and tools to solve everyday problems. So we made it. We are here Saturday, April 2nd, and I truly could not be more excited. I'm a little nervous, hopefully that's not showing up, but I couldn't be more excited for this big reveal. It has been a lot of progress, a lot of works in the making, a lot of behind the scenes action taking place, but it has truly been a labor of love for all of us. From inception of the idea from the core group for the Westside Makerspace to then working with Co-op Dayton to craft our vision in terms of our idea, and then being a part of Greater West Dayton Incubator flyer pitch competition where we were able to win first place and obtain our initial seed funding for the Westside Makerspace. So again, it is truly an honor. Very excited to be here. I couldn't think of a more perfect area in the city. Our name, Westside Makerspace, we belong on the west side of Dayton. Of course, this area is very near and dear to my heart. I was raised in this side of the community, so I remember my parents driving me to school every day and going up Abbey Road, when the factories used to be here. So this area is very near and dear to me. I still have family that lives here. And I also recall how the lack of resources has truly impacted this area of the city, be it the removal of grocery stores or the removal of the factories hitting our working class community pretty hard. So I couldn't be more proud to stand in front of you for this big reveal, to offer an opportunity space for the community that will provide the additional resources and that the community can truly tap into. Additionally, I couldn't think of a better location, being embedded here in the West Branch Library. Of course, when you think about a library, it is a space it's an anchor to the community. And it is a space for the local community members to create, to research, to collaborate, to explore some of their ideas, and I truly think that we are an extension of the library. Of course, our tagline is learn, create, collaborate. So we are truly an extension of the library and very grateful for the partnership that we've created here. Before I get off the stage, we have a very exciting day lined up for you. Of course, our ribbon cutting, we have a very exciting lineup of speakers, but before we jump into that, I have to have the remaining group of our leadership team come up on stage and introduce themselves. So please, join me on stage.
I'm Alvin Wilkerson. Like Marcus was saying, very excited for everybody to be here. It's been a long journey so far, but also feels like just the beginning because we're thinking about everything to come. This being our pilot location, we want to show the community what we can do when we all come together with the idea of learning, sharing what we know, and collaborating to move the Westside community to the future, whether that be in STEM equipment or learning skills from the past. So this can be a place for all of that, and looking forward to continuing the project and develop into a permanent location.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sherelle Gardner. I'm so happy to be here with you all today, not only as the program director at Co-op Dayton, but also as a co-founder of this amazing project. It's been since 2019 since we had this kind of wild idea that we would bring a makerspace to Dayton. And I'm so grateful for the people who took a chance on us, even though we had this idea that had never been seen before, that we couldn't fully articulate at every moment, but that we were able to help bring it to life with all of you. And we're so excited for what we're going to co-create into a permanent space in the future. Thank you.
Maxwell, just grateful for everybody coming out and just excited for what we're able to provide for the community. learning new things from each other, being able to teach each other, and work with our youth, the middle population, older population. I just think it's going to be a great thing for everybody. So thanks everyone for coming.
Hello everyone, I'm Edwin Dirksen, and as everyone else said, I'm super excited to be here. I now live in Michigan right now, but I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, so this is deep in my heart to be able to come back to Dayton and support to bring something back to the area that I grew up. So super excited to continue this on and bring it to a permanent space, so super excited. Thank you.
The one thing I left out before the team came up is we are all University of Dayton grads. And another thing is we would love to acknowledge one of our other team members who could not be here, Mr. Claude Nicole. Without his leadership and expertise, we would not be propelled to this day. So thank you, Claude. We know you're here in spirit. Before I introduce our speakers, I would be remiss to not acknowledge our partners, Co-op Dayton, and of course the Dayton Metro Library, our advisors, Veronica Morris, Emily Corey, and Kara Kloss and Alex Baynard, as well as our donors, Greater West Dayton Incubator Flyer Pitch Competition, JJR Solutions, Dayton Foundation, and then an anonymous donor. And now for our esteemed speakers. First, I would like to welcome Mayor Jeffrey Mims to the stage.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. Appreciate that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
That was good. I don't have to ask you to do that again. You only got to do that a couple times. That's great. Yo, this is special. I see these two guys. You guys go to Howard. What year are you? You a senior? I like that power of positive thinking. Yeah, my son went to Howard University, so that's a good one. But I couldn't help but notice that. This is very special. Of course, every time we have some event down here is special because I grew up in this area as well. I used to play Little League Baseball right across the street over there, and also down right past the factories in a place called Hudson Field. And I just have so many great memories there, especially those games that we won. I mean, I tried those games that we lost to try to get that out of my mind. Activities such as this are very special. Again, with myself being an artist and a musician, I recall so many different things that we had both in the schools and places in the community like the Living Arts Center and things of that nature where we had places to go to have adults and others sort of help stimulate our creativity. The type of learning things that we had, those opportunities made us a stronger city. And of course, many of you know, of course, that this is the funk capital of the world.
That's right.
The big music that we have up in this place as well. The challenges that we've experienced over about 3 or 4 decades caused us to be in the situation that we're in right now in actually reversal. Losing jobs from the NCR, the plants, of course, all the GM plants, all the type of functions that we had. We've gone through situations relative to busing, desegregation. All those things help fragment this community. Those things are, some cases, continuing, and what we're fighting through is how we can sort of reconnect those dots. One of the biggest problems that we had is that we had a great loss in terms of manufacturing opportunities. And we have been a manufacturing city. Manufacturing is one of the strong things across the nation, and we were one of the leaders. Going back to the Patterson family and the type of things they did there, Wright Dunbar, Wright Brothers, all those kinds of situations that gave us a leg up, if you will, on creating job opportunities for the citizens that we have here in Dayton. And then the school system being pushed, first being underfunded, and then being pushed to send everybody to college and ignoring the strength and the legacy that we had in manufacturing. As we try to come back and build those things back, because everyone is not to go to college, especially after a 4-year program in high school. What we have found across the nation, and research supports this very well, is that many people have talents. You get all these God-given talents that we have. Music, art, manufacturing, hands-on type of work, home economic programs. And people think that home economics is just for the girls or the ladies. You know, we have a lot of guys in there too trying to learn how to cook and do the things themselves. Because some of the guys say, well, I ain't getting married ever in life, so I only need to learn how to cook. So I ain't have no lady cooking for me. But the issue is that those were creative skills that each of us learned in that setting that put us in a position where we could be more and more self-sufficient in terms of addressing those type of situations. We have so many manufacturing jobs in this city and in this region that are going untapped, and it is hurting us tremendously. We just, a couple of months ago, had an agreement, a $38 million agreement with the Sierra Nevada group out of Denver, Colorado, where we're going to have this aircraft hangar repair space up at the airport. And the major thing they need is what? Aircraft mechanics. Aircraft mechanics, diesel mechanics. And we have not been teaching those things in our schools for about 30 years. Trying to catch up in that space is going to be a monumental task. I spent a lot of time in the last several months, if you will, working with the Jobs Ohio and others, trying to find more and more ways that we can get more of our young people in those job opportunities so they can learn and be in a position to come out of high school and go into a $60, $70, $80,000, $90,000 job without college debt. And those things are very special for us to do. Programs such as what you're doing here also help to stimulate the mind, help bring more and more people together, to move them in a space where they can be a part of that great movement that we have as far as the city of Dayton is concerned. So again, I go back and think about my signing on when I was asked to be a co-chair for the levy to build these new libraries here in Montgomery County. Was about 8 years ago, I think.
Try 10.
10? Time flies when you're having fun. Okay. So about 10 years ago, they asked me to be on the co-chair of the levy to generate money to build all these libraries. And you see the fruition of those things right now. So many great spaces that we have around this community. And they bring jobs, they bring people working, you know, and plus they increase the learning capacity and learning opportunities in each and every part of this city when those things are in place. So I'm going to take my seat because I can be up here for another hour because there's just so many great things happening in Dayton, and there's so many of you who have been a part of that. I see some folks back in the back, Rashawn Winburn. I do Rashawn when he was about this tall. And his father, Roland Winburn, a former state representative and also now trustee. But good people who've also been working in this space trying to make sure good things happen for the citizens of Dayton. So thank you, Marcus, for letting me take this time, and please enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you again, sir. I would now like to welcome Winnie Johnson, the Dayton Metro Library West branch manager to the stage.
We have waited forever and ever for this branch to get open. And first off, I want to say thank you and clap for yourselves because we couldn't have done it without you. Well, we've had so much excitement waiting on the opening of this West Side MakerSpace, especially from the library staff. So when we came in and we had the dark curtains, we all trying to figure out what's in there. And of course, I had the magic key. I went in there, looking, and I'm like, I don't even know what this machine does. But my mother always taught me, if you don't know what you're doing, don't touch. So I didn't touch your stuff. And so the library staff and the patrons, we all have been waiting to see what's behind the doors of the MakerSpace. When Dayton Metro Library built these opportunity spaces, the goal was to have a dedicated space for community partners and nonprofits to introduce themselves to the neighborhood, build their brand in a way that ensures future growth and success. And we're going to say thank you again because we know we got great things going for you. I want to thank the Eichelberger Foundation for sponsoring the West Branch Opportunity Space, and helping make these amazing partnerships possible. Because with this collaboration with the Westside MakerSpace, this is exactly what we've been wanting and waiting for and forever and ever, and now it finally has happened. Oh boy. The library is excited to be a witness to and supporter of all your great work, helping the small businesses and entrepreneurs and celebrating the innovation and creativity alive here in West Dayton. So, Marcus and team, the West Branch staff, and myself, we welcome you, and I'm weepy. We welcome you to our library family. We're a partnership, we're a family, we're here, we got the orange lanyard. You need something, we're here to serve you and help you and get it going. And if you keep bothering us, we're just going to change colors. We look forward to working with you, and we look forward to everything that's to come. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. I would now like to welcome to the stage Ms. Whitney Barkley, Director of Greater West Dayton Incubator.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I like that. Thank you. On behalf of the Greater West Dayton Incubator and the University of Dayton, I want to say thank you for allowing us to share this space in this moment with you. There's so much power in this room because every single person is truly the validation that this is something that's needed. This space needs to exist. And as an entrepreneur, I've been running a business for about 6 years. I know that creating a venture from the ground up is not an easy thing. But you did the most important thing that you could do. You started. With any endeavor, I think there's always a process and a journey filled with wins and lessons. I believe that today is a manifestation of many meetings, many connections, many late nights, and many hopes to make an idea become a reality. When I think about the Westside MakerSpace and the journey, it plays a role in our journey at the Greater West Dayton Incubator. As the first winner of the Community Choice Award for the GWDI Social Venture Track and the Flyer Pitch Competition, we couldn't be more proud and excited for your future. Today is truly the beginning of what's to come, and I believe that the Westside MakerSpace is one step in a domino effect of creation and innovation. All of us have the ability to create. And sometimes that creativity can be stifled without the right tools, the right environment, or the right space to propel us and our ideas and creations forward. With the Westside MakerSpace, the community has a place to live out their highest dreams. The Westside is filled with innovators, creators, and entrepreneurs. And the Westside MakerSpace is an extension of the possibilities and the solutions that are waiting to be fulfilled. Congratulations to the Westside MakerSpace team, and know that you always have a friend in the Greater West Dayton Incubator to support your journey forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barkley. Next, I would like to welcome to the stage Ms. Leela Klein, Executive Director for Co-op Dayton.
Hello, everyone. The energy in this room is amazing. Really proud. On behalf of my incredible coworkers from Co-op Dayton, WAVE coworkers, yes, we're all around the room, we're all around you. We are so proud of this day. We're so proud to be here together today. So Co-op Dayton is a nonprofit that believes that we can build the city of our future through collaboration and cooperation. We believe that we can leverage our community's gifts and talents by creating cooperative economic models that give us the opportunity to come together and create what's missing in our city, what the traditional market has left behind. And there could not be a better example of the cooperative model at work than the Westside MakerSpace. Yeah. We've got these sons and daughters of West Dayton, sons and daughters and residents of West Dayton coming together and saying, we're gonna bring our gifts together, we're gonna bring our gifts to the table, and we're gonna give of ourselves to create an opportunity for people to have the tools and the technology that they need to fix, to make, to build, to create, and we're going to put that together in a space that's located right here in our community. So we're so proud. Getting a little emotional. We really believe that as a co-op, we open the space for the whole community to co-create. So a few people have said this already, but today is really just the beginning. The Westside MakerSpace will be a cooperative owned by those makers, those doers, those tinkerers, those thinkers who want to have these tools that they may not be able to afford to have individually in their own home. Nobody here probably has like a small CNC machine in their living room, right? Maybe some of you do, but when you see the space, the opportunity space across the hall, what you have to imagine is that this is just the pilot. What we're doing here is we're figuring out what does the community want? What can the community leverage? What can the community activate? So that in the future we can have a larger permanent space with bigger tools, more tools, and tools that are specifically designed to meet the needs of this community in this location, in this neighborhood, with these people. So what do you want to build? What's your vision? What tools would you activate if you had the chance? The next year is our opportunity to come together and build. So very excited for this beginning. I also want to take just a moment of personal privilege to acknowledge my coworker, my work wife, my ride or die, Sherelle Gardner. Sherelle I've just watched her pour into this project over the past several years, along with her incredible cohort, but watching her basically run our entire organization while also doing this as her side job is just very proud of me. Thank you, everyone, and please be on the lookout for opportunities to join the co-op as a member owner, a founding member owner. That'll be coming sometime in the next few months, so make sure you sign up for the mailing list, and we're so proud to be there.
Gem City Market.
Oh, and yes, I should acknowledge we're also the nonprofit developer of the Gem City Market. Please come out and shop with us. We have an incredible new cheese section that I heard you talking about. And thank you to Sarah from Gem City Market for helping us with social media today. We are a network of interconnected cooperatives that are supporting each other to build the city we want to live in.
Thank you again, Ms. Klein, and I have to echo your sentiments. Sherelle is definitely the glue that holds us all together, and we would not be in this space without her. So thank you again, Sherelle. And last but certainly not least, I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Larry Williams, Vice President for Westwood Collaborative.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Blessed. It's okay. Been accustomed to it through a whole lifetime, so it's nothing new. I'm Larry Williams. I'm Vice President of the Westwood Neighborhood Association, and we happen to be just across this street. Across West 3rd is the Westwood neighborhood. And then, of course, there's the Residence Parks neighborhoods. There were multiple neighborhoods around this. The library was down on Hoover. But now we have the new West Library in our presence, and I'm just honored and thankful that we've brought some new innovations to our area. I would like to say that the Westside MakerSpace, I became familiar with it thanks to Mr. Marshall when they were getting the flyer pitch together, and they said, Mr. Marshall said, Larry, they're looking for a mentor. I'm going, a mentor? Okay, but let me explain. I am a retired aerospace engineer from General Electric, and I spent 25 years. And General Electric, their machining division is right down the road from Dayton and Beaver Creek. I spent 25 years. Mayor, I learned welding, I learned maintenance, I learned how to install equipment. My main thing was quality. I spent 15 years establishing quality systems, but at the same time, I understood the things needed for employees. In that building, there were 800 employees, 400 welders. We never could get enough welders. Welding is an asset that could be utilized. Inspection is an asset that can be utilized. And these are tools that teens can learn without going to four-year colleges. And then they can jump into these $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 jobs without all that overhang. But again, the Westside MakerSpace, in the midst of COVID, we met. And now, they mentioned earlier that they were here to innovate for teens, children, and seniors. And so I guess I fell in that. They included me. During COVID, we didn't meet. We were on Zoom. I became very proficient at Zoom. Thanks to Sherelle and those guys kept me technology. But with Zoom, what it did for us, with the Westside MakerSpace, they said, These were some engineers, as they said, they graduated from University of Dayton, and they're coming back. Many times our communities suffer because everybody leaves. I've been in Westwood for 30 years, and I transplanted to Westwood, but at the same time, I didn't leave. I wanted to become part of the fix. If everybody leaves, there's no fix. All of our, industry left, our amenities, they all left. But if we as residents begin to understand no one's going to ride in and save us, we must save ourselves. And we can save ourselves if we unite. Westside MakerSpace, they're going to bring all these, they saying that's a platform which will allow residents that are maybe not knowing how to do auto repair, lawn care. There are sewers. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned home economics. Back when I went to high school, I took shop. I wanted to take home economics because I liked to sew. But at that time, men weren't doing a lot of sewing. So I had to learn how to sew. When my mother wasn't home, I'd get on her sewing machine. And I kind of taught myself. I could hem my own pants. But the thing of it is, everyone should have the privilege of being able to do things that make them successful in life. We at the Westwood, we're just so happy to have an entity that says they're going to work with the residents. They want to work with those folks that may need to run some copies, make some banners, make some buttons. And then I spoke with a lawn care guy on yesterday who wants to build a building in his neighborhood that bring in rookie auto persons, that people to learn how to do brake jobs without having to go. These are things that you can learn. When I leave here today, there's a young man in my neighborhood. He said, Mr. Williams, can you help me change my battery? And I'm thinking, everybody know how to change a battery, but I forgot. Everybody don't. So when I leave here, well, I'm headed up to AutoZone and I got to get him some supplies. But if we do not help our young people won't, somebody helped us. And what we've got to understand is we too, as residents, must reach back and help the young. And in Westwood, we have an aging population, and there are 48% of us are seniors. 48% of the residents in Westwood are seniors. So as seniors, we want to share technology with them. We want to teach them how to survive any event of another catastrophe like COVID. When you can't get to the doctor, you can't get to the grocery store, you can still utilize your cell phone. And if they don't have cell phones, with the library here, they have this wonderful thing where they loan out iPads. And we want to teach the folks these things that they too don't have to be dependent on others. Westside MakerSpace, this is going to be a fantastic platform. You wooed me when I saw 4 engineers coming back. They didn't say we're going to Centerville. They didn't say we're going to Kettering. They said we're staying here on the west side. I applaud you. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. You've opened doors not just for the community, but for everyone that wants to be part of moving our neighborhood to the next step. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. And just to echo something you said, as residents, it is our duty to reach back and pay it forward to generations coming behind us, and for just all. So we truly do hope that we're able to do this with the Westside MakerSpace. So I want to thank all of our speakers, and how could I forget? I want to thank our audience also. Thank you all.
Can I add one thing? I'm sorry. I gotta do this. It was on my mind, you know, and my mind has photographic memory, but I don't have as much film as I used to have. Let me just say real quickly. We are going to be building a statue of Paul Launch Dunbar out on the platform that's out there. And I'm not sure if everyone is aware of that. I'm on a committee with Judge Rice and Tom Malsby, Janelle Ross, and Bean Davis working on that particular project. We've been working on that project for about a year, so we're still getting donations. It's about $350,000 project, and I think we're about halfway there in terms of money that we're generating for that particular project. And then I'm going to sit down, and the last thing I'm going to say, thank you for coming back to Dayton. Part of my agenda, main part of my agenda is raising the median income of the citizens of Dayton. And the quickest way to do that is for people who have jobs to come back. Okay. The other quick way of making it happen is for more younger people to get into the job market soon. So I just want to say that. Thank you for your time.
The stage is yours whenever you need it. But again, thank you to our audience. Whether you know it or not, in one way, shape, or form, throughout this entire process, you all have been there for us, be it support, advisement, mentorship, whatever it may be. So we are truly grateful for you all in this audience, here in person as well as tuned in on virtual land. So thank you again. The next part of our program is our ribbon cutting. So what we're going to do is ask our speakers to join the leadership team across the hall in the Westside MakerSpace as we do the ribbon cutting, and we will broadcast what we're doing over there on the wall in here. Thank you. Thank you all for being here and being a part of this. And please feel free to ask all of the hard questions for these two right here.
Try to answer without making stuff up. I think we're streaming it online too, so I think we might be fielding online questions too. Any questions in the room?
So when is it going to be officially opened, and when can young people start using the space or learn how to use it?
So right now, we're opening throughout April. We're doing classes, and we're going to have like some open hours where we're staffing it and allow people to come in and just view the equipment, maybe use some of it to ask questions. But once we get a certain number of people taking classes and the traction there, we plan to open up a membership. So once you get a membership, if you've done the checkout classes, that's just making sure you can use the equipment safely for yourself, as well as for the equipment. Then you'll be able to come and use the space as you will, but still having classes throughout, so we can collaborate together and new people can learn the equipment. So
Can we find the class schedule online?
yeah, the westside.makerspace.com. We'll be posting our class schedule for April, and then we're also going to be on Facebook posting that and get some traction there. So, yep.
So for verification, clarification, you say you're not taking membership at this time. It's going to be at a later date.
Yeah, we're thinking like May timeframe. We want to go through April, just doing open classes, getting people more familiar with the equipment. And once people start coming to the classes, gaining some experience, then we'll start opening it up for people to have memberships and then come at your leisure. So not necessarily staffing it at all times with somebody who can work on things with you, because we're going to assume that our volunteers, after taking classes, are comfortable with it, with the equipment.
So follow-up question, do you know what the membership price is going to be at this time?
We're still honing in on that. Right now we're looking at like $20 a month, something like that. But once we get a set membership price, we're going to give it out to everybody. So.
Thank you.
What equipment is all in there, and what benefit is it to those who take those classes?
Yeah, so the equipment-wise, we have the small 3D print farm. We got some digital manufacturing equipment like a laser cutter, desktop CNC. We have an electronics bench. On that bench, you have oscilloscopes, power supplies, soldering kits, that sort of thing. We also have digital media equipment. So if you wanted to take a class to learn how to make your own T-shirt, you can use the T-shirt presses. We have a mug press, and then all of the sublimation printers and vinyl cutters to print the decals that'll go on the T-shirts and whatnot. And then we also have a sewing station. So that's our main functional areas. And then with that, we also have a good amount of like just craft supplies and artists and making supplies. So we've done some candle making. You'll be able to do some soap making, that sort of thing, and just general crafting. So that's the equipment, and the benefit of taking the classes would be just honing that skill on that equipment. We won't have classes that are required for every functional area, but the more expensive equipment like the laser cutter, that'll be a required class. So right now we're looking at a program where you take one required class, and then you take an additional class in something that you were just interested in. So to make a little bit more clear, if you wanted to be a member, you would pay your membership, take 2 skill-based classes, one of them being on the laser cutter, and then one of them being in the area where you're just interested. So say you wanted to do the electronics bench, and then you'll be able to come in as you want. Yeah.
Is this the only makerspace in Ohio?
No, we got a couple. We got one in Columbus, Idea Foundry, which one of our mentors helping us out, Alex in the back here. He's actually the founder of Idea Foundry. So there's another one in Cincinnati. So if you're traveling, there are a couple different makerspaces where you can go and get an idea of what a larger scale makerspace would look like. So definitely check out Idea Foundry in Columbus. It's a very nice space, and once you go in there, it's going to make you probably salivate for a bigger makerspace in West Dayton. So
How long have they been there, and are they doing okay?
Alex is doing well. I don't know, how long have you been there, Alex?
Since 2008, but let's explore Maker Passport. So if you get trained on the classes at Westside Makerspace, let's say you're a member of the Idea Foundry too. So love to see the family grow.
Yep, and then to piggyback on that, another one of our mentors, Kara, out of the Xenia Spark Place, that's another local makerspace in a library. So if you're out in Xenia, definitely explore that one. A little bit larger than our makerspace, and that'll also give you kind of a perspective of what you can do with these type of spaces in our community. So that'll definitely want to explore. And we've been talking about what it would look like for a Makerspace Alliance to exist in Ohio. So that's something we're going to continue to further explore because it piggybacks on the idea of if you have these creative spaces in communities, and our whole idea is, where you get corporations where they're competing against each other, but we're looking at how can we help each other benefit for our local communities, but then on a broader regional scale by working together. So
is there a website that one can go to see where these locations are and what they're providing services?
We don't have like a centralized website, but that is something that would be worth exploring for sure. I know, but right now, if you check out Spark Place or Columbus Idea Foundry, they both have pretty good websites where you'll get to see, what services they can provide. And in the meantime, we can post those websites to those examples on our social media and on our website, to further direct people.
Thank you.
Who is the target audience for your upcoming classes in April? Is it adults, young children, small businesses?
Right now, we're doing some private classes for small businesses and organizations in the community, but also open classes for anybody in the West Dayton community. So one of the good things about makerspaces is they're, intergenerational. So, oftentimes you think of these skills and you get too old for STEM, like, I don't know, it's just that, I don't know where that came from, or you're just too old to learn like new technology, or that's just of the past, or, you see it on the opposite end where, you have younger people who don't want to dig back and learn skills like sewing or, automotive repair because it's just not relevant, I don't know how that came about, but, hopefully that's something we can change, because when you look at makerspaces, you get that aspect of like anybody can use this space, everybody can use this space, and everybody can learn from one another. A quick story, we went to another good makerspace just doing our tour of makerspaces and learning what's out there, OpenWorks in Baltimore. They're in the heart of communities similar to like West Dayton, where a lot has changed over the decades. If you're dependent on things to be a certain way, and whoever controls that decides to leave, and people are out of jobs, and you don't have a place to learn new skills because, to corporations that might not be important, training people for what's next. So OpenWorks, similar to West Dayton, put a makerspace in the community, and you see things like, when kids are preparing for prom, they have classes where older people who know how to sew are teaching these kids how to make their own prom dresses. And they're doing classes to teach, the older generation how to incorporate the technology that you just have to know how to use sometimes into their daily lives. So long-winded answer, but who can use a makerspace? Hopefully, everybody who lives in the community.
So my question has to do with how much can people use MakerSpace? I'll tell you, I can see very clearly that this is a learning resource, very powerful learning resource, as a craft person, somebody who makes things and sells them for a living. But my passion right now is in youth entrepreneurship. And my goal is to train up, give sales training and business structure, so I can hear kids in DeSoto Bass saying, yeah, I know how to go into a fair and festival and profit $1,000 in one day. So is this a resource for our children to be able to come and not only learn about making crafts, but to also produce? To make $1,000 a day, you have to actually make a bit, right? You have to make a bit. So Sherelle tells me they have 6 sewing machines. Is this an opportunity for manufacturing or just learning?
That's a good question. And I think when we were thinking of this, of the makerspace, we were looking at both things, like learning and what would the next, local manufacturing, evolution look like. We got people in our communities with skills or who want to learn skills, and how can we together learn how to collectively, monetize those skills. Right. So definitely in this pilot location, those are the type of things we want to explore. We want to explore partnerships with organizations who are focused on, education or entrepreneurship development, because we have the tools and resources here, and we also have people in our community who have these skills, whether they be, I know how to scale this idea to a business, that can be another business in West Dayton. So hopefully throughout this year, we're further exploring that. And then once we grow into a permanent location, if we want to, as a community, have options to create localized manufacturing here, and to do so, we know we need a large woodworking shop where people can come in and make, fulfill an order for 100 stools for this local business. That's something we can do. So definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to us as a community determining, how we create jobs in our community that, won't depend on people leaving or depend on corporations leaving, and what local manufacturing can look like. So,
yeah. Right.
So how do you plan to bring in these creators? Is it going to be through just like free events throughout the month? I know you have this subscription type format, but how will you bring in all the creators that can really utilize the space?
A lot of it's been, grassroots development, going around talking to people, definitely utilizing social media. Still has its hiccups, people online know about the hiccups, right? We had some difficulty streaming to begin with, but we're going to put the whole event online after it's over. But also just having the open space. Even when we launch memberships, there's still going to be free events that anybody can show up to. And we hope that just creating more social spaces in the community, just organically gather us all, because, this room is filled with people who want a positive change for, the people they live around and want to learn skills. And we've talked to plenty, but I think oftentimes it's just a lack of the space to do that. So hopefully as we continue to create the space and throughout this year, we'll see the community come together and we'll all be making stuff together, taking classes, and it'll be a beautiful thing.
And it's definitely word of mouth too. So when you guys leave here, please share the word. If you know other makers or people that are just interested in learning a new skill, share that with them and let them know that we have this space available to the community.
Please.
I was just saying, use just word of mouth. Just when you leave here, just share it with your peers, your other makers, people who want to learn a new skill, and just let them know that this space is available to the community.
Yep.
I just wanted to make a comment. I'm an older person, so I really didn't get the concept of what a makerspace does. And at my job, we had, how you have a Secret Santa and everybody gets a gift? So my Secret Santa made me a coffee mug and a mouse pad with my logo on it. And I said, how did you do that? And she said, I went to a makerspace.
There you go.
It was so awesome. I had the best gift.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what you guys do. I think it's awesome.
Exactly. And I think it's You know, it's something personal to somebody making something for you. You know, because anybody can go buy something typically. You know, within reason. Especially if you put a cap on the Secret Santa, like, under $10. Then usually, you know. But if somebody take the time to put, you know, their heart into something and make that for you with you in mind, and that's, you know, specifically yours. You know, even the little flaws in it and all that stuff, but it's unique to you. So hopefully we can see that. And like if you look at the history of Dayton, there's been a lot of that. You know, Dayton used to be one of the top areas in the world for patents and development. So we have an innovative community here. I think that's why we all think you just need a space to do that. So, any other questions? Cool. All right, so we'll close out the Q&A if that's, thanks. I don't know to run the show, so we'll have to find Marcus and see what's next. But I think this